Okay, I got all my bricks and concrete bags across the river and cinder blocks across the river. I'm going to get ready to pour these 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to mix the concrete right there in the hole. And I've also got a small pile of stones right next to each hole that I'm going to put right into the concrete mix to take up some space in the concrete in the hole. And that makes the concrete go a little further. I've only got 3 bags and I've got 6 or possibly 7 holes. I'm not sure if I'm going to put a hole in the middle with an I-beam in the middle. Probably not, but just in case. Anyway, I want to make the concrete go as far as possible, so those stones are going to take up some space. They're just going to fill the void, and that'll make the concrete go a little further. I don't have to use quite as much per hole. Now, you might also ask, why am I bothering to put footings here? It's just a tent platform. It's not a lot of weight. It's not going to have a structure on it. However, someday it might be built into a tiny home. It's only 8 by 12, the whole platform, but it also might be used as a storage shed or a small tiny home at some point. And so I want to have at least a little bit of footing. The other reason I'm putting the footing is because, believe it or not, that creek right there, it swells in the spring after spring rains. And if we got 2 or 3 days of rain in a row here, which is very common, the creek actually gets about 15 feet wide once it swells. And it does come up about to this point on these lower footings. So I want to have a little bit more stability so that the foundation of the platform doesn't get washed away by the creek. So we're going to go ahead and fill this bucket of water with water in the creek to start mixing our concrete mix. I've also got a little bit of creek gravel, creek sand, creek gravel that I scooped up from right over there. So that's going to go into the concrete mix again, just to make it go a little further. So here we go with our bucket. Let's scoop it up and get the water for our concrete mix. That should be almost enough. That should be enough to pour our first hole. That should be enough concrete, enough water. Let's make it across this old narrow bridge. Okay, we're going to start with that bag right there. And we're going to open it up. We're going to open up that bag using the sharp end of our shovel right there. Just do one line of opening up down the length of the bag, and then one line across, and it opens up nice and easy, just like that. Okay, now we're going to start with one couple scoops of concrete mix into the hole. Maybe 3. And then a little bit of this creek gravel / sand. And now some water. The hole, and now we need a stick to stir. I'll put it. And now please, so we can add more concrete mix. See how we're doing with the camera? See if we're getting that in shot. Yeah, pretty much in shot. We can add some more to mix. That's pretty simple. I'll get it. 2 holes filled with each bag. 2 holes. In each hole. We'll see if it's enough. Okay, now the mix is very dry, so we're going to add a little more water on top. And we're also going to add the stones. As soon as we get it a little more moist in there, the stones will sink right in. I'm hoping to get 2 holes filled with the bag of water mix. 2 holes.
centimeters or anything. Any toes. We'll see if it's a mix. Okay, now this mix is very dry, so we're gonna add a little more water on top. And we're also gonna add the stones. As soon as we get it a little more moist in here, stones will sink right in. And here's our bucket. Water over here. You can see this. It doesn't take very long to do all this. There goes our stones. We're gonna mix it up with the edge of this stone. There goes one stone in. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now a little more creek gravel on top of that. The stones will sink right in. And here's our bucket of water over here. So you can see this doesn't take very long to do all this. There goes our stones. We're going to mix it up with the edge of this stone. There goes one stone in. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Got a little more big metal on top of that. Spread that out. A couple more of concrete. That is, sir. Mix you out. Okay, very close to completing this hole. Still enough water here. Now we're just going to splash more to keep this footing. Anytime you don't get to put anything, you want to just do this stuff. You don't want to do it. You don't want to completely erode the integrity of the concrete, so block the concrete to the footing. You put a few rocks in there, a little bit of sand or gravel, whatever you got on hand. You know, it doesn't go really. That's such a small corner here. You don't want to get the corner foundation of the house. So that has to be a code and have a very strong rating for concrete. So we're almost done with this footing. We're just going to add a little splash of water to top this off. So it sets up nice overnight. Right there, we'll start there. That's pretty good. And this is where our cinder blocks sit.
Of the tent platform would go on top of that. Okay, it's just a little bit too soupy, so we're going to add another shovel full of concrete mix. And we're definitely almost through with this bag, so it looks like 1 bag per footing. We're not going to get 2 footings out of each one of these bags. So that means we got to go back to Lowe's sometime this weekend. Probably some more. Finish these footings this weekend. Okay, that's pretty well mixed now. It's got a good consistency. And now you just want to level it off so it sets well. And whatever flat edge you got to level this is fine. I'm just going to use the edge of the stick and level it by eye. You could put a level on here, a line level or regular level to flatten it out if you want to. I'm just going to do it by eyeball and just move the concrete all around until it looks like I got a nice flat surface. And then that'll be it. It'll be ready for overnight drying, and then a concrete block on top of that, or maybe even 2. I might have to go up 2 levels of concrete block in order to get this side of the platform as high as the upper side, the side that is uphill from here. It's not a big rise in elevation, but it is probably about 1.5 foot from what I'm eyeballing from here. Maybe 1.5 foot of elevation rise. So yeah, I'm just moving this concrete around, flattening it out, doing it by eyeball. If you've got a bigger area than this, you definitely want to put a flat edge and a level on here and make sure your pad is level. But for now, this small pad, it's easy to do by eyeball. And that looks right about level right there. So we're finished. And we'll just let that dry overnight. So we got 5 more to do with 2 more bags of concrete. Okay, I've got all my pads poured, all 6 of them. There's the upper corner, lower corner, middle. I had to make this one a little bit smaller, about half the size. I was running out of concrete, running low, so I just made it smaller. It's no big deal. Now, to get these square, you lie the strings around like I've got them here. Lay the strings all the way around, four strings or 1 long string. Make corners, and then you put a square on your first corner, and you simply square up the strings. This is just one of several ways to square your corners when you're making a foundation for a structure, any kind of base, like a deck, a utility shed, a tent platform like we got going here. Now I put this 2x12, I put the cinder blocks in because I wanted to see how level they were, because I didn't level the pads from one to the other. And then I put the 2x4 on top of it with a level, and as you can see, it's remarkably level. Let me try and zoom in on that. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I can get that bubble on there. I think I got it. So it's really perfect, dead on level on these 2 cinder blocks. Okay, got my boards laid out, my 2x6s, and even though the sun's still up, I'm gonna quit early tonight, getting a little tired. Sunset here in western North Carolina is usually pretty stunning and beautiful. So that's going to happen in about an hour, hour and a half.